the essence of a person's life. No, that's the person who play it. Jazz itself is the embodiment of the spirit of Africa and the musical technique and clarity of the European instrumentation and technique. What it really is gospel music put into a melodic form by some brilliant people. After all, Charlie Parker was an extremely brilliant, very well-read man. So was Charles Mingus. So was most of these cats who created most of this music. All of them were brilliant, very informed, well-informed, well-read people. You know, jazz is a music that we as black men it was our only other than sports, it was our best way of expressing of how we feel without the racism, without the negativity, but just how we feel as a human being, as a person. How do you express your emotions? How do you lay your emotions out there? How do you call and summon people? And how do you go to those millions of people and say, this is how I feel about it. This is what I love. This is the cry of my passion that I express to you. Because a lot of times I have played and recorded and been crying, physically actually just crying. You hear it on Colors, when Colors play in some of those songs. I was crying because I can get to a point where I'm playing where I would, and sometimes, a few times I did just totally choke up because it's feeling so, it's such a movement inside. It's such a release of experiences and emotions that have been going through subterfuge, going through belittling, going through the chaos, going through the horror. One word to describe all of that part would be envy. Envy. Jazz is a music that when those who can really play it create envy among others that is uncategorical in terms of trying to describe. It is a music that allows the performer to give his all, because that's what they have been practicing and studying and reading and dedicating and developing in their life to do, because they know it's something inside that must come out. It's the same thing as the person who have a passion, what's the black man who created open heart surgery? I don't believe Eli Whitney created no cotton gin. He ain't picked no goddamn cotton. You know, a lot of this stuff was taken. The woman who synthesized and took, because she had to boil the tea for her master up there in upstate New York, wherever that was, and created the steam pot so that it would whistle so she could run in there and take care of the baby and milk the goat and get the weeds out of the crop and all that shit, so that when the master come home, who had to be English because he had to have tea all the time, he had to have it all. It's the same thing. It's taking your
necessity.
It's a necessity. It's something that you're born with that you got to get out. If you don't, it's gonna kill you. It's not something to be played with. It's not something that just cause in the white community, a lot of musicians, their parents got money. You know, they can go and say, oh, they're gonna play jazz. Oh, I'm 18 years, I want to play drums. You can't jump up at 18 years and go play drums and guitar. You know, and look at if you go investigate the life of people like Paganini. Why do we know about Paganini? Because he was the phenomenon of his time. He was the first rock star. Why? Because it was driven. It was something that was in there. His daddy, helped him develop it. He developed ulcers at a young age because his daddy made him practice. He couldn't miss a note. If he missed a note, he couldn't eat dinner. You know? But he was also strung out on laudanum. So, you know, jazz is the passion and the soul of living every day under this gorilla brick that we as black people have to live with and deal with every day. It's like no matter where we go as black people, they have went and spread this racism that we're dumb, we're stupid, we're unread, we're uneducated, and we can't do shit. When the reality is, when you go to Europe, the reason those countries are like they are and there's no other country like America is because we all are here. Not just black people, white people, Asian people, people from all walks of life are here. But we as black people were brought here to build a country. They didn't want to teach us to read, didn't want us to read the Bible and all that shit. Well, there's a reason for it. Just like I was telling you earlier, when I heard these Africans over there in France speaking 5 or 6 languages, and I've been to college, I ain't graduated, but I've been to 5 of them. Now I don't speak good English. How in the hell these Africans know all these languages? What is it about them to make them where they can learn these languages so easy? Well, right now we need to be able to learn some language because that's what happened that's going on another subject. But that's what happened with this country. When the good old Texas boys took over the CIA, and because they ain't had to learn no language down in Texas, and they running the CIA, they ain't learning no language. Now we don't have nobody speaking Arabic. And now we need people speaking these different languages. But jazz itself, jazz is the passion of a people who have helped build a country but can't get paid for it. Have helped a country become the richest and greatest in the world but can't get credit for it. Have contributed to a land but can't get recognition at all in it. How is it for 40 years we can't get no Oscars? We can't get no... Miles Davis didn't get a Grammy. He get Bill Evans in his orchestra. They give, in 3 years, they give Bill Evans a Grammy. They give Miles 10 years later, they give him a Lifetime Achievement Award, Grammy. What kind of shit is that? That's what jazz is us having to sit up and look at this dumbass shit. It's just like Chris Rock said when he said, ain't no black man gonna sit up and look at no goddamn Oscar shit. For what? We ain't involved in the shit. If we is involved, we are involved in shit. Shit, I met Morgan Freeman when he used to go with my ex-wife down there on 85th Street. He was in Sesame Street. He's a great actor. I'm not talking about giving him an Oscar for Miss Daisy. It take Clint Eastwood, who happens to also be a musician, who happened to give one of the best speeches I ever heard about music and about jazz anywhere.
What did he say?
He said the essence of what this jazz and music is about. That's and the question wasn't about jazz they asked. The question was what made him the kind of director he made. And he became the kind of director he is because he knows the nuances and the particulars about playing music. He's a composer. He's a piano player. You know? Why come we don't have more people like Clint Eastwood?
Why don't we?
Because the scared-ass motherfuckers don't want to step forward. They'd rather die with their money than step forward and be a man and do something about this crazy-ass shit. That's what needs to happen in this country. The white males need to stop being and get off their ass and do something about the shit. No, they all want to run with Tom DeLay and hide and the rest of that Bush bullshit. And now you got a fucked up country. Talking about sitting up talking about, yeah, we're outsourcing. Every day you're talking about outsourcing on TV. We've been outsourced a long time ago as black people. We start a job, create a job and environment, and what next thing you know, we got to teach somebody else to do the job, and we fired. We ain't never got paid for it. They don't give us the scholarship. You know what? It was an Asian girl, a Vietnamese girl working for Bank One down in Texas. And she was the only girl working at the Riverside branch of Bank One. And they was firing her, and she was good at what she was doing. In revenge, I went there to get a bank overdraft. She gave me this paper and said, here, fill this out. It was for a line of credit. Next thing I know, 2 or 3 weeks, they didn't give me $16,000 line of credit. And I'm saying, what the fuck is this?
Did she tell you that she...
No. She knew she was being fired, so she gave me the paper and filled it out. She said, "Oh, I can't give you a bank overdraft. You're not qualified. Fill this form out." And I get $16,000. 6 months I went. I didn't spend a dime of it. I didn't believe it. And then I started asking, "What is this shit here?" That's when I figured out, why is it that a black man and a white man can be working on the same assembly line, and the white man and the black man, both of them got a house and a garage with 2 cars, but the white man got a boat, and some of them got a swimming pool, and they taking vacation. The black man just can't buy food every week, although it looks like he's doing okay because he got a house and 2 cars. But he's living each check, paycheck to paycheck, because a white person can walk in that bank and get a line of credit.